Yeah, or anything else?
No, nothing for me.
Okay, in that case, I don't know what film night is next week, but okay, tonight what I'm going to talk about is basically the software that you can use on various devices to aid in your observing of the night sky, learning the night sky. Even if you don't observe, they can be quite a good educational tool for learning about astronomical things. So most of the talk tonight I'm going to go over the program here called Stellarium, which is an open source program that's free, runs on Windows, Mac and Linux. Pretty much every Linux distribution has it in their repositories. Definitely available for Apple and Windows. When you grab hold of it, make sure you always get these things from an official source.
Yes.
Because you're risking getting malware. So if you download it from some arbitrary website, so that's just a bit of general security warning. So you can see Stellarium up on the screen here. So it's basically rendering the night sky. When you first install it, the first thing you have to do is tell it where you are. You don't have to, you can basically tell it anywhere in the world, because it will show you the night sky from that location, so you can always change to some other location that you want to if you're interested. Obviously the main difference is between the northern and southern hemispheres, because you see entirely different skies. So you can either see how I've got Auckland there, so the program knows about Auckland City, so it's set the latitude and longitude based on that, or you can just type in a latitude and longitude of your observatory if you want maximum accuracy, or your backyard, or wherever you observe from. So that's pretty straightforward. You can actually also select locations off the map just by clicking off the map, but I'm sure everyone will be able to figure that out. So the next thing is to look at the time. By default, it will pick up the time off your operating system, time and date, but again, you can change that to whatever you like within reason. It can go a few thousand years plus or minus and show you the night sky, and it accounts for things like proper motion of stars, and it will calculate position of planets, that kind of thing. But as you get further away, they limit how far you can go plus or minus, because the things like planets, over time the positions start to get a little bit uncertain. So just because the models we have of the solar system are only accurate up to a certain amount, so they don't want to put people wrong by going beyond what the algorithms they're using are capable of doing in terms of accuracy.
With date and time, is that local time or universal time, or?
It's local time.
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, I think you can...
It's UTC
plus whatever your time zone is, yeah.
Right, so
it
should be local.
See how it's saying there, UTC plus 12 at the moment. Yeah. And you can alter the time to be whatever you like. By default, it's showing the Gregorian calendar and the local standard time, really. But you can switch to Julian if you really want to. Okay.
And if you put in a location that's somewhere else,
yeah.
will it actually automatically select that time zone, or are you going to have to, I guess you'll have to tell it?
Well, let's try it. If we, let's see if we, whoops, wrong one. If I go to the location, and let's say I go to, I don't know, somewhere in Australia, it's still daylight there. So let's see what it did with the time. See, it has changed the time.
Okay.
So it's and roughly around the area of Perth, it's just after 4 p.m. at the moment. So it will base the time by default on the location that you switch to.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to Auckland here. dark on this keyboard. That's all right. Okay. Hopefully it'll. Why isn't it coming up there? It's a bit weird. Oh, hang on, here we go. Yeah, but it's a huge long list. Hang on, we're getting there.
So I take it you can't just say return to default location.
Yeah, it's turned off though. Yeah. Yeah, I tried that, but it didn't do it for some reason.
Did you press return after typing in it?
Yeah. It's got a lot of yeah, hang on. Oh yeah, probably. Let's try that. Put it in the. There's a search box here, so we'll try that. Whoops. Oh, whoops! I've got a J. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Yes. Right. Okay. So I've brought this up with fairly default settings. The general layout is you've got some up in this right-hand corner. It's showing you some plugins that I'll talk about later. And on this side, there's a menu that pops up. You've got location, time, various sky display settings, so that can, under that, if you select that menu, it'll go into further menus for adjusting the way things are displayed. There's an object search menu, so we can put star, planet names, things like that. And then there's the configuration window. We'll have a look at some of these, and we've got astronomical calculations window. That's quite a useful one. You can do all sorts of fancy things in there. There's help. And along the bottom, there's got some, I guess you could call them quick buttons. So, for example, we can turn off the cardinal points, or turn them on. We can turn planets off and on. We've got meteor showers. I'm not sure it's displaying any there, but you can turn those off and on. It's got, you've got this one here is for a red light, so that's for observing. If you don't want to spoil your dark adaptation, you can put it into what it calls night mode. So red light is has less impact on your night vision, so that's the reason for that one, if you were using this outside. So you've got things like, this is for telescope control, for switching between alt-azimuth or equatorial. Haven't got a telescope connected up. You can control a telescope from this software. The other thing we can do, you can turn the air off. So for example, you see if you turn the atmosphere off, you can see a lot more stars, and you lose the fuzz towards the horizon. So it tries to simulate the typical things you would encounter with observing. We've got ground. We can remove the ground. It's got, in the settings, you can select a whole lot of default background grounds. You can make your own and import them with your own trees and whatever your horizon is from where you do your observing. So we'll turn the planet markers back on, and we'll turn deep sky objects on. So it's starting now to show deep sky stuff. So we're going to take a bit of a dive into this sky and viewing window. So you can select, by default it uses a stereographic projection, the way it maps the sky onto a rectangular screen basically. And there's various options you can choose. Stereographic's the one I commonly use, but if you get the program, do play with it to find something that you like. You can see you can adjust the brightness and saturation of the Milky Way. You can turn the zodiacal light on and off, dynamic eye adaptation, and you can, and here this is basically the same as the button where you turn the atmospheric visualization off or on. You can turn shooting stars off and on. That's completely fake, of course. It's just a special effect it adds. Whether or not to display stars, whether you want them to twinkle, we can turn twinkle off and on. Whether they're spiky, you can limit the magnitude, things like that. And if you want, you can adjust the markers by just selecting whatever level of information you want. And it automatically will change as you zoom in as well. You just zoom in with a mouse wheel. So you've got solar system objects. You can customize how those are displayed. Again, you've got a slider for markers. We have a menu for deep sky objects. So what you're selecting here are which catalogues it's going to select from. So by default, we've got the Messier catalogue, the NGC catalogue, the index catalogue, but you can turn any or all of these others on or off. Might turn on the Caldwell and the Barnard catalogue, turn those on. Sky markings. Now, one thing, you've got a whole heap of options here, but one thing I found quite useful is to put on the equator. So we probably want the equator of date, and we probably want the ecliptic of date as well. If you don't know what those are, the equator is basically the Earth's equator projected onto the sky. So for us here in the southern hemisphere, that's always going to be to the north. At the if you add our latitude onto 90 degrees above your head, that's how far north from the zenith the celestial equator will be. We're about 36 and a bit, so you take off 36, or depending on which way round you're looking at it, go 36 degrees to the north of the zenith, and that's going to be on the celestial equator. And the ecliptic is just the path of the sun across the sky. So the angle of the ecliptic varies during the year. In the summer at night, the ecliptic is low because the sun is high during the day, and it's the opposite in the winter. So the ecliptic at night for us in the winter is going to be high, and if you play around with these settings, you can see that effect. The other thing we already talked about, landscape. It's got a number of built-in ones. You can select Mars, for example, or you can put the ocean on here. I'm not sure how well that's showing up. It's probably a bit dark. But the default one is this one, which is somewhere in Switzerland, I believe. But as Eric mentioned, you can create your own and import it into the program.
Yeah, just so you can figure out what's being blocked.
Yeah, it's useful if you've got it at your regular observing site, if there's trees in the way, and you import all of that, or hills, you can import that into Stellarium, and you can immediately say, oh, I won't be able to see Mars because it's behind that tree. So that's the main use for that, other than just to make it a bit more interesting looking, I guess, from an aesthetic point of view. Now, you've got a whole heap of different culture you can select, and we have Maori we can select if we want. It defaults to modern. So you can play around with those and see different cultures around the world, their sort of ideas about constellation and sky art and that kind of thing. Surveys. So you can select these for various information for various deep sky objects. I'll just the search window is pretty obvious. You just basically type in the object. You can search on if you've got online access, you can search the Simbad database, which is a database hosted by the University of Strasbourg in France. But it's quite handy if you've got strange object names that Stellarium doesn't know. It's highly likely that Simbad will know what it is. Anyway, that's your search function. Now we've got a configuration window. So this has got things, language settings. You can see the ephemera settings. Now I've only got the default ones. You have to download these to get them. But under information, you can see all the different things that are available to be displayed about object info. Under extras, you can see some of these things again correspond to buttons down here. You can actually customize what buttons appear down the bottom as well. But one thing I was going to show you, for example, we've got cardinal points displayed. We can put on the compass marks. And a useful thing could be constellation boundaries. Down the bottom, you can see where it's saying get catalogue 8 of 9. When you first install the program, it only has a fairly limited number of stars. So that's so the download isn't too big. But if you want more, then you can say get catalogue whatever of whatever. It goes up to the 9th one. And each one gets more and more stars, but they get bigger and bigger files. So I've got the 7th one, the next one is the 8th, and it says that the download for the catalogue 8 will be 1,710 megabytes or 1.7 gigabytes, contains 57 million stars. So if you don't mind the disk space and you really want all those faint stars, then go for it.
Yeah, realistically, you won't be able to see.
Yeah, you can't see them anyway, so unless you're doing photography, there's not really much point to it. Going beyond that. Okay, the other thing is plugins. There's all sorts of little tools you can add, things like measuring angles between objects. But the one that you might want to use quite a lot is the solar system editor. And what you do here, you open it up, go into the solar system, and you want to import orbital elements of asteroids or comets. And the common one to use is comets. If you hear about a new comet, it's likely that Stellarium won't know about it because its database is a bit out of date. So you can go in here and tell it to download the latest list. We can go select where we're getting it from. There's various options. Probably a common one is the MPC, the Minor Planet Center list of observable comets, and so on. So you select which one you want. So if I select that one, and then I can say get orbital elements, and it's actually downloaded them, and it asks me what I want to do. I can either add new and overwrite existing is probably the one we want to do. I want to get the latest information. So you say mark all and add objects, and it's basically done it. So that's if you want to know information about a new comet, that's how you get it, through the solar system editor. Won't go through all of them. Now, just a bit about the window here. We can, down the bottom, we have our quick buttons. We can do things like turn constellation lines on and off. We can see the label. So if we want to label the constellations, we can do that. We can turn the art from whatever culture you specified. It'll display the artwork. I don't know if you've seen the planetarium That one's a little bit more flexible. It lets you turn art on and off just for one specific constellation. But it seems in this one we either have art is all on or all off, as far as I know. Might be a good new feature suggestion to send to these guys. They've got a mailing list that you can do that. It will turn the art off. It gets a bit cluttered if you do all these things. We'll leave the labels on, but turn off the... The other thing we can do is to display the grids. So the equatorial grid is what we often use in astronomy. And what that means, it's relative to the equator and the poles. So that point there on the equatorial grid is the south celestial pole. With the way we move our view around, we can just drag it around with the mouse. So I'm just holding the mouse button down and dragging. And you see we can't see the north celestial pole from here because it's below the horizon. And ditto if you were in the northern hemisphere, you'd see the North Pole but not the South Pole.
What's it on the ecliptic thing, or is that the equatorial then?
Yeah, if we just bring that in, that's the ecliptic. So the equator is this one, this blue line here, where it's basically, in astronomical terms, you'd say that's declination of 0. And then when you go north, that's a declination of +10. And going south, which is upwards in this, because we're looking north, south is upwards. So that's a declination of -10, for example, Spica. We select it, and it gives us a whole lot of information. Declination is -11 degrees, 17 minutes, 42 seconds. So that's the way it does in this program. If you select an object off the screen, it pops up this information, gives you star name, catalogue information. A more recent one, this is a fairly recent addition to this program. They now have data from the Gaia DR3 catalogue. If you're not familiar with what that is, Gaia is a space satellite that's been up there observing the whole sky for the last, must be at least 8 years, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Something like that. Basically building up a map of the entire sky with what is really incredible precision. So it's basically doing mainly position measurements, but some other data as well. But the precision is down to the sort of like maybe 10 microarc seconds or something like that. So it's sort of like at least 50 times more accurate than what we ever had before with sky positions. And one of the things that it can do, of course, because it can measure the positions really accurately, it can measure the distance to stars by using parallax, because it goes back and measures the same things over and over again. I think on average every star gets over its lifetime gets measured about 70 times at different places in the Earth's orbit. And so it's viewing the star from slightly different angles. So using all those 70 measurements, it can get quite accurate parallax measurement. So yeah, that's been incorporated into this program. I said we could find objects, so let's just give that a bit of a quick test. And one that I will do is one that I made sure I'd imported is, you've probably heard in the news, there's a new interstellar object that has been recently detected, only the third one, called 3I Atlas.
Oh, haven't heard of that.
And it's a comet, but it's coming in at a really high speed, sort of like something like, 70 kilometres per second, so there's no way it can be bound to the solar system. If we do the search for that, it's already hinted it knows it. And so it's gone and found its location. If we zoom in, we have to zoom right in and in because it's, I haven't got stars showing that faint, so it's currently 17th magnitude. So, and an interesting thing tonight, at about 20 past 10, is predicted to have an occultation with a star right over Auckland.
Oh,
So in other words, this comet is going to pass in front of a star as viewed from right here about 20 past 10 tonight.
ah,
The star that's showing on the screen at the moment is going for?
Possibly. I don't know how accurate the ephemeris is, and I'm zoomed in a long way here. It could be that that's the star.
it's pretty close. So
Yeah, possibly is. Hang on. Whoops. Whoops. Hang on, I've lost control of it.
I think.
Yeah, hang on. I'll just
I think it's playing.
yeah, if I select the star and centre it, it could be because I think the star it was going to occult, I think they said about 11th magnitude. So let's go, we can go forward in time.
To 10 p.m.
Let's go 9, 10 and go back to about there. And now let's do bring our comet back.
Oh,
No, it's
that's
not. So it must, I don't know, maybe even the star isn't in this catalogue, or there could be a position error for the comet itself, because the information for the occultation only came out today, and so that would be the latest. They haven't got very good accuracy on this comet yet because it hasn't been observed for very long to calculate its orbit. So that's one of the things you can use it for. In terms of comets, what we could do, if we zoom right out, we were zoomed in a long way there, okay, to get down to 17th magnitude. You've got this astronomical calculations window. Now we can go ephemeris, select the celestial body, and let's try 3I Atlas. Now what we want to do is we go a from date, so that's from today, and it's going for the next month. So let's change that to say days, and then we do. Let's have a look. Let's do. Maybe 2 months worth will do. Oh no, a month will do. No, make it 2 months. I should have left it as it was. Never mind. We'll do 60 days to get a reasonably long. So the time step, let's make it every 5 solar days. And now we calculate the comet position. Why isn't it letting me do it? If I not show. No, I've got it there. Calculate is what I have to do. Okay, so that's computed the position the comet will be for the next 60 days and showing it every 5 days. Now, we should be able to plot it on the chart. Let's see if it's done that. If we zoom out, oh yeah, there we go. So you can do this for any comet or asteroid and it will show you the path across the sky. So quite a nice little feature there. The other thing we can do, there was a setting I was going to show you actually. If I go back to deep sky objects, if I can find it, surface brightness, maybe under here was it, if I can find it, not that one, designations for screen labels. Oh, that's the thing, there's so many options in this thing. When you're looking for something it can be a bit tricky. Somewhere in here we can actually, maybe it was under markings, no?
You can ask ChatGPT that question.
Yeah, I know. ask any of the AI bots how to do it.
What are you talking
Somewhere in here, there's a thing where it will display background images of deep sky objects. I would have thought it would be on this screen.
Should be in this.
Would
Or
make sense,
like
wouldn't
a
it?
display or graphics section.
Yeah. Or maybe it is. Hang on.
There
Maybe.
is something in the quick bar.
Hang
but
on. It
not
might be.
something
It
that you-
might be. Yeah, that's just turning them off and on. I've seen it before. There's somewhere in here. It might be in here. Extras maybe. What's under here? Oh, hang on. Nebula background. I already had it turned on. That was the one I was looking for.
You might didn't zoom in far enough.
Yeah, when you zoom in, it will actually show you, like if
There
we,
you go.
yeah.
That's MA.
So it's showing you that's the Lagoon Nebula, for example. It's basically showing you the nebula background. Yeah, and you can adjust how many of these appear. It's a bit cluttered at the moment. We can also get rid of deep sky objects if we don't like them. I'm not sure why. What are those ones?
Those are all the exoplanets.
Oh, I turned those on by mistake here before. So let's turn those off. And where are the exoplanet ones? Oh, that's the background images there. It is on the quick button. I must have turned the exoplanets on by the look of it. So that was in the main screen. Never mind, I'll leave it for the moment because I wanted to show something else. I'll turn deep sky objects back on, and I was just going to show you the meaning of these symbols. When you see you can see these square boxes. They indicate a bright nebula. So that's what those are. If you see, like these, a circle with a cross, that will indicate a globular cluster. So if I centre that and zoom in, we can see we've got a nice globular cluster there. If we get away from the Milky Way a bit, I should go back and turn those. Where are we? I'll just turn those off again.
Exoplanets is the Saturn, one that looks like Saturn.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Let's get rid of those. That's better. Thanks, Keith. I must have turned that on before. Oh, yeah, here's the other examples here. See the circles with the dots? Not sure how clearly it shows up on there. That indicates an open star cluster. So does anyone want to tell us the difference between an open star cluster and a globular star cluster? I guess it's there's two things about them. Obviously the globular star clusters are basically a globe of stars, if you like. They're much more densely packed than open clusters, and they have a lot more stars. Generally, the open clusters belong to the galactic disk, whereas the globulars are very old, and they orbit the centre of the Milky Way as like I guess you could say a swarm around the centre of the Milky Way. So when we look towards Sagittarius, which is the direction of the Milky Way centre, we see lots of globular clusters there. If we look out towards Orion, you'd see very few because you're looking away from the centre. So, but open clusters are found anywhere along the Milky Way in both the summer and winter skies. I'm sure Chris covers that sort of thing in his intro to astronomy courses at some stage or another. On the other symbol you encounter is when you see an oval like this. So in this program it's coloured orange, but they're normally just like an oval in general terms in various star charts, either printed or software, is basically indicating a galaxy. You see a few of them will appear when we zoom in. The deeper you go, the more of them you see, obviously. There's one other type of object I haven't mentioned, and we can probably zoom in over this way. Here we go. There's one here. See, I'm not sure how well that shows up on the screen. There's a little, I'll select it, on where it says Blue Planetary Nebula. And you notice the symbol is in this one is a green circle, which has got like a cross, but it's on the cross is on the outside. Not sure how easy that is to see there. So it almost looks a bit like a diamond on there, but the actual symbol is a circle with little spikes, the top, bottom, left and right. So that's a type of object called a planetary nebula. That term was coined by William Herschel. The reason he called them planetary nebula, because when he discovered them, they're all quite small and round and reminiscent of planets, but they're a little bit fuzzy, so they're obviously nebula-like, not an actual planet. But he just coined the term planetary nebula to describe what they were. Okay, there's a heap of exploring you can do in this program, but we're going to. It'll show you. You can turn on satellites. It's got a database of satellites, so you can see satellite passes, things like that.
But the meteor showers, does it show when the peak is?
I believe it does give that information. Yeah. So let's go to when's the Leonids is in November, isn't it?
There's a couple there. There's that Alpha Capricornus.
Oh, did you see that one? There's one here, isn't there? I saw. Where was it? It's disappeared off the screen. Maybe you don't get it when you zoom in.
Yeah, top left.
Oh yeah, there it is. Piscis or Strenids. It does give information. What have we got here? Obviously, there's the meteor shower number, general velocity 35 kilometres per second. Activity is from the 15th July to the 11th of August. Maximum on the 28th of July. So yeah, it does give information about the meteor showers. I've never really used those much, but yeah. So for a free program, it's pretty good what it will do.
I presume you can put in fields of views of various telescopes.
Yeah, you can do that. This is under this plugin here, which is the ocular plugin. You have to actually configure it. So if I go back to the plugins and we select oculars and we go configure. So in here, I'm running out of time, so I probably won't demonstrate it, but in here you can select the eyepiece from a list, or you can type in your own if you know the focal length and AFOV of the eyepiece. You just type it in. You select your telescope. It's got a list of built-in ones, but you can just put in a focal length and focal ratio, and then it will actually display the field of view on the star map, so you can see what, with that particular telescope eyepiece combination, the field of view that you will see. So lots of things to explore in there. But I wanted to go into another program. Somebody's picture of the night sky from Hobbiton. Okay, go into sky chart. Now, one thing or issue I found with that program, if you want to actually print something, it's a bit of a pain because you're going to get a horrible, especially if you've got a inkjet printer, it's going to print black or dark blue, and it's a pretty horrible waste of ink. So this program, which is also freely available called Carte du Ciel or Sky Chart. The guy who developed it is French. The display isn't quite as fancy, but it's actually a bit more technical. You can select a whole lot of information about the catalogues that you want to use. You can import catalogues into it. There's a whole lot of stuff you can do in this thing. But the thing that I find useful, if you want to print a chart, if you want a hard copy of something, in this program it allows you to swap the sky background for white. And so you get star charts that are not wasting vast amounts of ink or toner. So this is another one you might want to play with. It's available for at least Windows and Linux. I'm not sure about Mac for this one, but yeah, give it a go.
Bill, is that colour immersion a printing option or a display option?
Sorry?
Is that colour immersion a printing option when you print?
Yeah, when you print, you can select whether you want on screen, as on screen, black background. By default, you can either have colour with lines with a white background, or you can have black and white line mode for your printing. I don't know if does it have a print preview. Let's have a look. No, it looks like it didn't have a print preview. Yeah, so if you select as on screen, then you'll get all the horrible dense colours, which generally you don't want when you're going to be printing anything. So that's the main. Well, that's a use for why you might want to use this program. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show, I'll get rid of there. And I'm going to demonstrate a mobile program. There's lots of mobile apps that do similar things. And the one I'm going to demonstrate is called Sky Safari, because I happen to have that on my phone. It's not the latest version and it's not a free program. There are some free ones, but I found the Sky Safari to be really good. Okay, I'm just going to run a program that allows me to share the screen off the phone. Where are we? Sorry? It's just an Android phone.
Android and
This is a Samsung one of some sort.
there will be similar option
On Apple, whether you
well,
can actually share your screen with a laptop.
Yeah.
So what you have to in this one, you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
So-
Apple is more restricted, but it's quite easily done.
And so the address is, hang on, I've got that wrong. So it tells you the IP address of the phone, so you can
That's kind of cool.
just type it into your browser. So it's 2.129, and the port is quadruple 8.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it says, maybe they don't allow it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is on the same Wi-Fi. The problem is, I'm not sure, they may have I may not be able to show you this because the network here might have blocked
Or
connections between devices.
I'll try it on like a Wi-Fi hotspot. I'll put my.
Oh, okay. Let's give that a go,
That should.
and we'll connect the laptop to.
Yeah. Let's try it.
So should we see it here? Is it that one?
No,
No?
that's not my one.
Oh, it's still looking.
Yeah. Just. Is it on? It is.
I didn't test this before. It used to work here, but they might have.
Yeah, they might have changed something. Can you refresh it?
It's doing it.
No, yeah.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's mine, and then I'll just
You want
it
to put
in
your
there.
password in, and we'll do the same on the phone.
Let's try that.
Hang on. Go into the settings, connections.
Yeah. Oh, your flashlight is on.
Oh, yeah, I hit that by mistake. It's on start aim higher at the moment, but it should show you the.
Yeah, I can change it to mine. Let's try that. Hopefully this will be much better. Yeah.
Okay. Oh well, if we have to do that again next time, we'll have to be prepared. So if I go back into the AirDroid program, oh yeah, it's definitely changed. So the address is now 172.20.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
.10.11.
And then
And get rid of this junk.
delete the ports. No, it's not.
Let's see if it works.
Hopefully. Oh, did it refresh?
Oh. Unable to connect. That's weird. 10.20.
Huh? Why
Dot
does it
10.11.
Why does it change back to that again?
Oh. Oh no, that's right up the top. Oh. Okay, well this is going to be a bit of a pain.
Yeah. Oh well.
I did actually test it at home earlier, so I'm not sure what's stopping it from working. Does the phone allow devices to talk to each other that are connected to it?
Expect it to be.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well, we might have to give that up. What we're going to have to do is I'll just talk about what you can do on the phones. So
Does your phone have a USB-C connection? You need to go direct.
it doesn't. I don't know. We've got any way to connect to.
Dock, though.
Yeah, you need almost like a dock to connect it to the OBS system.
We don't have one here.
Yeah.
But yes, that would have been the other option.
Yeah. Okay, that's a bit of a pain. I don't know. The main thing, if you have one of these apps, the first thing you can do in Sky Safari, you can, and most of these apps have this. You can either have a static screen like that, and you just drag around and that kind of thing. You zoom in and out just by squeezing with your fingers. But we can go into what's called compass mode, and because phones have a orientation sensor in them, they know where they're pointing and tilt and that kind of thing. You can actually use it to point at a star in the sky, and if it's properly calibrated, you'll be able to identify what you're looking at in the sky. So that's obviously something you can't do on the laptop with Stellarium. The other thing that I really like about this program is it gives really good object information. I'll just put this back into compass off. If I select a star in here, and then I go into selection, object info, it gives you usually quite a lot of information about the object that you're looking at. So you don't really get that in Stellarium or some of the other programs.
Stellarium Mobile has some info on the planet or star.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Sky Safaris particularly gives you long screeds of information about the object, especially if it's one of the more commonly observed things.
When I search about Sky Safari, there are 3 or 4 options.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Safari 7 Pro.
Yeah, I think that you have to pay.
Yeah, they all paid.
Yeah, I've got 6. My one is version 6, and you can't get a free upgrade to version 7. You have to pay. So I've never bothered because I was happy with what Sky Safari 6 had. Another thing we can do here, and this is kind of a gimmick more than anything. I'll go out of compass mode. We can say select an object. Actually, I'll do a search on it. If I go, Saturn. Oops. And there we go. We can. It gives me a choice actually, Saturn or the Saturn Nebula. I've selected Saturn, but whoops. Go back to the program. We can centre it in the map, and it's slightly behind. point from this is that these programs are a great learning tool for different things about astronomy, observing aids, planning your observing, seeing what's in the sky at the moment. I didn't mention it, but Sky Safari, the app also has a what's good in the sky tonight suggestions. So yeah, grab hold of these programs and make use of them.
If we have to download the Sky Safari, which version should we take? 7? 6?
Have a look at whether you work. I'll get the latest one if you haven't already got one of the older ones. I don't think it's worth upgrading from 6 to 7
No, I haven't.
if you've already paid it, but if you don't already have it, you might as well get the most recent version, as long as you don't mind the price.
This Pro one also has the control toward the telescope.
Oh right, yeah, that's right, the Pro one does, yeah. So you can, if you've got a Wi-Fi dongle that connects to your mount, you can actually control your telescope from your smartphone. In fact, I think Steve was it you that played a trick on Gavin Logan, and he was told that they had a new technology that was voice activated, and you could say go to Saturn and go to Saturn, but they were actually doing it through your smartphone.
Ironically, it'd probably be very, very easy to do that now. You could just chat GPT to give you the coordinates and point it.
Yeah, that's right.
That is true.
I think Gavin was believing that it was a voice-activated mount.
Looks like that Stellarium's actually caught up to Starry Night now, as far as features are concerned.
Yeah, it's been, you can watch over time, they're adding more and more stuff to it. I've skipped over a lot of stuff that's in there, so yeah, explore it yourself. Is the Zeiss open, Steve, for viewing, or you got camera set up?
Camera on there.
Yeah, because there's an occultation, as mentioned. We couldn't find that occultation on the Stellarium, actually.
No, well, I mean, it's a fairly
Faint star.
well, yeah, it's a fairly faint star, and it's a fairly wide margin of error on the orbital parameters.
Oh, okay, and I might not have accurate position for it right here at stardome, because that'll make a difference with an occultation.
So the centre of the track is pretty much straight over our head, but the one standard deviation either side puts us like pretty much halfway down the North Island.
Oh, okay. So yeah, still quite a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, so it's only a few percent certain, but
Okay.
it's
And of course, I just had a generic Auckland for the location. I didn't have the exact latitude and longitude of the
I
observatory.
suppose a lot of observatories are going to have a go at it to see when they can get it.
Well, there's not many that is going across.
Yeah, the way that it's going, it goes across a couple of Aussie, and then it's going across horizontally. So there's Victor knows what guy in Seattle who's having to go, and then there's us. There's only 2 in New Zealand that we know about today.
Because I guess the track will be mostly over sea or ocean.
So I mean, something like this, the attraction is if you actually get a verified observation, it helps improve the accuracy of the orbital parameters, so you know more accurately where it is.
Yeah, because that's what occultations are used for a lot. The position of the star will be known really accurately, but not so much the comet, because it's moving and they haven't quite pinned down its orbital parameters yet. But if they get an occultation, it really pinpoints it.
It's not the interstellar object, it's just a comet, isn't it?
No, it is the interstellar one. It's 3i Atlas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at it, it's C 2025 N1.
Oh,
It's a comet.
Oh, he said it was 3i Atlas before.
You know, I've just sort of looked it up.
Oh, okay.
On Occult Watch, it sort of mentions that, you know, Michael Cavalieri gave the talk here.
Oh, okay.
And it mentioned you guys, Victor, Sam, you, Stephen, and the Astronomical Society in the post.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe who said it was? Somebody said it was that 3i Atlas. I thought that's what Victor said. Okay, because I hadn't heard about it. So.
But maybe
I
it's,
had Mick call me earlier.
if you've got it in Stellarium, you might want to look up that comet instead of 3i.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
How did you find out about the occultation anyway?
oh, Victor came in and told us about it. That was the first I'd heard of it. It was just tonight.
So Victor's getting quite into the optics. Yeah. But because it's quite a flat target star, it's hard with a small telescope, so that's why it's super key to try to decide.
So the object is C/2025.
C/2025.
Space 2025.
Whoops, I'm in the dark
Here
here.
in the future. Still 3.
2025.
Space.
That's number 3.
You said 3 slide.
Okay, and what was the letter?
N1. Space N1.
Must have only just been recently discovered.
CD. It's got a lot of them here. There's M1, was it M or E?
Just
N
type
for November.
space N1.
Just type it in.
Type it in.
Oh, yeah. Hard to see the keyboard. Oh, it's got M2. Oh, I wonder, because that's an
Oh, you need that one, yeah.
Into that one.
it's Atlas, so maybe that's where.
The what I'm looking at says N1.
Try it on first.
So that's
Okay, well, it hasn't got M1 in the database. And I only downloaded this just before all the latest. So I'm not sure about that.
It must have been just discovered in the last month or so, and that's if it's an
Yeah.
N.
Oh, can't answer that question at the moment. But it is one, N2, well, a lot of comets are discovered by Atlas. So it wouldn't surprise me.
No, usually the first letter of the letter gives you the half month it was in, and yeah, N is sort of halfway through the year, and it's July now. I think they miss out 2 letters. I just can't remember which ones they are.
probably I.
Okay, well, thanks everyone.
I's one of them. I just can't remember the other one. Maybe no. I'm not sure.
Science camera test.